Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, so how was everybody's Saturday? This video is going to be posted a little bit late only because I had a bunch of stuff to do this morning. Just like a little life update, by the way. I am still moving to Florida, got the place picked out and everything. You guys already know this. I've updated you in a few other videos, but it's happening and I'm literally, I don't know how to feel. Like, I'm nervous, but like an excited nervous. Anyways, I am going to get a Brazilian wax later on this week. I'm scared for that. I'm probably gonna film a reaction video because I have a feeling I'm gonna cry and like quit in the middle of it. So yeah, but I've gotten my legs waxed before and the leg wax was like super easy. Like, I'm 100% gonna do it again and I'm never shaving my legs ever again. So yeah. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into today's story time. I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. All right, so just my quick usual rundown for most of the video. I'm going to be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. These story times are sent in by anonymous people and I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave. That was a lot to say. Okay. And just another little by the way thing here. I'm a little uncomfortable telling this story time. When I read through it, I was like, what the fuck? To each their own. I don't judge. This is a no judgment zone. Except for the comments. I cannot control those. Okay, so story time about how I fucked my brother. Come on, guys. Anyways, a little background information. I was 15 and a freshman in high school. And yes, I know what you are probably thinking, but I would just like to enlighten you that it's not as bad as you think. It sounds pretty bad. Not gonna lie. So my mom and dad got divorced when I was only 7 years old, and that led to my mom getting remarried 2 years later to a guy named Tom. Now, I didn't mind Tom. Tom wasn't a bad guy or anything like that, but I was just pissed off at the fact that my mom decided to remarry very quickly. Well, Tom had already had 2 kids. He had a younger daughter who was 4 years younger than me. Complete bitch, by the way. And then he had an older son who was only a year older than me. Anyways, so like I said, Tom decided to marry my mother. For what? I don't know why. My mom was a gold digger at its finest, literally.
At all these lovely married couples, 50% of you will statistically divorce.
Like, I remember asking her why she liked Tom if they would fight 24/7. She was like,
well, sweetie, he has money, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay. He bought me the car that I wanted, and I wasn't even 16 yet, and he would literally buy me whatever I wanted. So at the end of the day, my mom took one for the team. Anyways, back to the story. So it was kind of weird having 2 new siblings that weren't my siblings because I was used to being an only child, you know? And I never had to deal with any of the sibling bullshit that I was now dealing with in my life. But eventually I got over it, and at one point our family actually started to look like a family, a healthy family, which was good. Well, fast forward to now, I am a freshman in high school and my life feels like it is falling apart. My boyfriend of a month just dumped me for a bitch who lets anybody lay the pipe. That was pretty sad. Not only that, I had to leave my best friend, who I have been best friends with since I was like in preschool, because Tom had to move for work. You know, I feel like I'm really the one taking one for the team here, you know? Like, I'm the one who had to sacrifice everything. Not my mother. Not my mom. Sorry about that, everybody. My camera died and I just decided to do my eyeliner off camera. Back to the story. Well, lucky for me, I did have my older brother, Jack, to show me around and stuff like that. But whenever we were home, he would be a big asshole to me, right? Like, let me give you an example. The one time had my book bag on, walking down the stairs, me and my 2 other siblings, and he kicks out the back of one of my knees, and I go falling down the stairs into a railing, smashed my nose off of it, and not to mention I also fell through the railing and broke my arm. And at home, whenever our stepdad would ask, oh, like, how's your arm? Are you okay? He would be like, that bitch deserved it. You shouldn't have been walking so slow. But whenever we would be at school, he would be like, oh, like, you know, I'm sorry. Like, how's your arm doing? If it hurts at all, let me know. If you need me to carry your books, let me know. And I was like, what a fake ass bitch. So yeah, pretty much he was nice and caring when we weren't at the house, but when we were, he would be the biggest douchebag in the entire world. Well, the one day he was just like being such a dick to me before we went to school in the morning, and when we got in the car, I was like, why are you so fucking mean to me? Because he also would drive me to school. See, that's what I mean. So nice to me once we walk out the front door, but other than that, asshole. So yeah, pretty much I asked him like, hey, like, why are you such a dick to me when we're at home, but then at school, like, you're super nice to me? And I'm not gonna lie, his answer was a little shocking, to say the absolute least. And he goes, I want to treat you like a queen, but I just can't when we're at home. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, I was a little taken back, because I was like, I just had no idea what he meant at all. I was like, okay. And then he was like, yeah, I'm just like scared to show you how I truly feel about you. Number 1, ew. Number 2, ew, what the fuck? So after that, thank goodness we were at school. I just got out of the car real quick and decided that I needed to think about what the fuck he said, because was it worth looking into, in my opinion? No. But was my inner self telling me that he was like low-key in love with me? 100%. Yes. So I know what you guys are probably thinking. Well, do you like him? Actually, you're probably not thinking that, because you probably think that I shouldn't and that it's disgusting. But I did like him. I liked him a lot. I always thought my older brother, I just always thought I had a hot older brother, but now I was looking more into it. I was like, damn, like, I really do like him. And I did want to talk to somebody about it, you know, and see how they felt. But of course, I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't tell my mother, because that would just be a complete shit show. And I 100% could not tell any of my friends, because they would look at me like I was a fucking weirdo, even though I really didn't have like that many friends in general. I would have less friends than when I got there. So fast forward 2 weeks from that conversation, we ended up being in the car for 12 hours together to visit some family in another state. And these family members that we went to go and visit, they stayed in a camper traveling around the United States, and we hadn't seen them in a while, and they were the closest they have ever been to home, so we decided to go visit them. And because they only traveled in a camper, they did not have enough supplies for all of us. So they made my brother and I go in one car with all of our supplies and stuff like that, and they would go in the car with my sister and all of our clothes and bedding. Well, this car ride was awkward, but it also gave me the perfect chance to talk to him and ask him what the hell he meant when he said what he said. Yeah. So this conversation was either going to go one or two ways. He was going to tell me that he was in love with me, and he's been in love with me since the day he laid eyes on me, or he was gonna be like, you're fucking disgusting, why would you even think that? Which is the way that I had hoped it would go, because I did not want to be right. So about 45 minutes into the ride, I look over and I'm like, do you like me?
So, Jocelyn, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do you like your girlfriend?
Just out of nowhere. I'm like your sister, but do you like me? And he goes, yeah, I like you. Why?
I'm like, no. Do you like
me? He starts to look a little confused and awkward now. And then he pulls over to the side of the road. I thought he was going to murder me or punch the shit out of me or something. And he goes, I've liked you since the moment we met. So, my delusional ass self that I thought was delusional wasn't so delusional at all, if that makes sense. And he was like, I just knew the type of feelings that I had for you weren't right as a sibling. Ew, what the fuck? Well, now that he had told me this, the feelings that I had for him, aka just thinking I had a hot older brother, turned into different feelings. So obviously I told him that, you know, I like him, you know, and I felt the same way, even though that's not at all how I felt. And he was like, yeah, I just didn't know if you would feel the same way, so I was like scared to tell you. And I told him, okay, well, if we want to get to know each other on that level instead of a sibling level, we need to act normal. We can't let our parents know, because if they knew, they would have an aneurysm, okay? Okay. Which obviously he agreed with. So we both acted like everything was completely normal. He was mean to me and I would put up with it. So once we got there, my parents set up 3 tents. One for them, one for me and my little sister, and then one for my brother. Because I was just thinking that during the middle of the night, if my sister woke up, I'm gonna tell her that I had to go to the bathroom, and I would really just sneak into Jack's tent. And we could hang out. Well, later on in the middle of the night, I was half right, half not. Because Jack's tent was down further because he said that he wanted to be near the water or whatever. I went to his tent. My little sister didn't wake up, so I didn't need to worry about that. And I went over to his tent to hang out, but we didn't end up hanging out, if you know what I mean. The worst part was too, he didn't have a condom. Oh God, what type of Alabama shit is this? No offense if you live in Alabama. But yeah, no, he didn't have a condom. We did the nasty. And it ended up being really good until I saw a spider in his tent and I was trying not to freak out. So we continued to do this over the next few days and we never got caught. I mean, there was one time where I accidentally fell asleep in his tent with him and he wakes up super early in the morning, so he woke up before me. And he like told me to get my clothes on or whatever, but I just fell back asleep right after, not even, you know, having in my mind that my parents could come in and see me at any freaking moment. So I guess he woke up, he was with my parents and they were like, oh, where is she? He was like, I don't know. They were like, oh, is she in your tent? And he was like, nope, she should not be in my tent. She's not in there. Well, then he comes over and he looks in the tent and he's like, what the fuck are you doing with my shit? You know, pretending that I was on his phone. He was like, get the fuck off my phone, go. And then, you know, my mom was like, why were you on his phone? Da, da, da. So that was a pretty good lie, period. Well, we get home, everything's good or whatever. And then I kind of want a relationship with him. So I talked to him about it, you know, obviously a secret relationship. And he tells me that it is a bad idea and that he will not, absolutely not be in a relationship with me. He said it was because he didn't want to disappoint his dad or anything like that. Okay, whatever. And then he looked at me even crazier after I was like, well, you're already lying to them, so what's the worst that could happen? Yeah, bitch. He was like, don't fucking say that shit, da da da. He was like, if they find out, we're both gonna be dead. Well, Jack learned his lesson about not listening to me and lying.
There it is. That's a fucking mistake. He don't know it yet.
Right,
I'm beat his fucking...
Just stay right there. No.
Because a few months later, my parents were supposed to be going on a work trip, right? They took my little sister with them, and Jack came into my room and he was like, hey, like, our parents are gone, you know? And then we started to get into things. And we were doing things. Well, I guess he just saw their car drive away and thought that they were gone, because while we were in the middle of doing what we were doing, and I thought that nobody was home, so I was like, you know, not trying to be quiet or anything, neither was he. His dad comes upstairs, barges open the door, and fucking starts screaming. He's like, both of you get your fucking clothes on. What the fuck are you doing under my roof? Oh shit, he was mad. He was mad as fuck. As he should be. He was like, get your fucking clothes on and get downstairs right fucking now. So we both get our clothes on and we go downstairs, you know. My mother was crying and his dad was pissed as fuck. So we had a whole lecture about what we were doing wasn't okay, yada yada yada. And then Jack got sent to live with his mother, sadly, and I was forced to go to an all-girls school. Well, a month later, I missed my period and I took a pregnancy test, and now I am pregnant with his kid. And my mom wanted me to abort it, but I told her no, because secretly Jack and I were having like a little relationship that my parents also didn't know about while Jack was away. So now we all live under the same roof again, and it is extremely awkward. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link in the description. And my posting schedule can get a little messy sometimes, so if you guys want to know when I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. But other than that, I will see you guys next Saturday with another story time.